All right. So what happens with most of us, especially those of us who are very hesitant when taking action, is we are overly critical of ourselves. We keep judging ourselves so harshly that, oh, we are not really good at what we are trying to do. We are not so good. Yes, like we want to be perfect. And because of this particular kind of perfection, we keep postponing. We keep procrastinating and all that. We want to get this in line, get that in line and all that. So at the end of the day, we waste all the time. We waste all the time on meaningless details. I'm not saying details is not important, but I remember there was one particular time I was trying to do something, and what I did was the earpiece, I was using an earpiece jack or something like that, and I had to make sure that the lines are adjusted well because I'm going to be videoed. So I wanted all the lines to be in a particular order. And I was like, wow, this thing, I have to look at it critically, because just imagine a lot of the things that you are so concerned about, trust me, nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. Just ask yourself, who is going to actually be watching a video and be looking at the lines, how straight the lines of your earpieces, or how straight like, though you have to make sure that things are neat, but to that extent, that is going to waste your time and you're not going to try to do anything. Yes, so I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why we keep procrastinating and thinking that we are not ready. The first one is we think that we are not good enough. That is the first obvious fact. We think that we have to be so excellent at what we want to do before we even start. And that is a mistake. I want that to sink in. We think that we are not so good at what we are doing. So we have to wait, take a couple of courses, prepare so well, and become extremely good before we even put ourselves out there. But that's a mistake, because why that is a mistake is all the people out there, all the people that you are looking up to, you want them to actually embrace what you are bringing out. They want to see themselves in you. That is imperfection. They want to see themselves in you. The imperfection, the mistakes, the hesitation and all that, like the little bit of jiggles and mistakes, like all those things, they want to see it. So why do we have to always be overly prepared about stuff and all that? Because that is what resonates with them. If I want to start something and people can see themselves in me, it has to start with a little bit of vulnerability. It has to start with a little bit of imperfection. And the people will grow alongside what you are doing. They will grow with you and know that, oh, this guy started from somewhere and he's coming. That's how a lot of businesses started. Yes, you start with a little bit of failure here and there, left, right, like things are not working for you, until you get to a place where you feel that you are settled. Now things are working. But if you keep being inactive because you want things to be ready before you start something, it's going to cause you to miss out on a lot of stuff. And that is something that I've realized is hurting so many people. The fear of thinking that we are not good enough. The other thing is the fear of failure. No one starts something and wants to fail. That is not the objective. But failure is sometimes going to come. And if you are going to keep delaying on taking action because you're afraid of failure, trust me, that's not the right way to go. And that doesn't really work. It doesn't work at all, because failure is even sometimes a blessing in disguise, because you are going to learn a lot of stuff. Maybe if you had not failed, you wouldn't be able to learn all these stuff. But because of the failure and the setbacks, you are able to pick yourself up and do it again. This time around with more understanding, this time around with more expertise and all that. And because of that, you are going to succeed. The other reason why we don't take action is sometimes we are afraid of judgment. Judgment from people. Like your friends are going to tell you, what does he think he's doing? What in the world is this guy doing? You see, these judgments are sometimes very funny. Your friend will tell you, hey, I saw your video on YouTube. Are you for real? Do you get it? But until it gets to you start with all these things, like people jiggling at what you are trying to do and all that. But it will get to a point where that thing stops and you keep growing. But you have to pass a stage where you are humiliated. For that one, you're going to be humiliated. So embrace it. And that shouldn't be the reason why you should not start what you want to do. Take action. Always be willing to take action. Because the other reason why you should take action is time is not waiting for anybody. You see, I wanted to start this. This is something that that has really bothered me. I wanted to start this YouTube. It has been quite some time now. I think a couple of years ago, I wanted to start an initiative like this. I kept postponing because I wanted to get everything from about the first thing I wanted to do was get a 1-year plan of my content. The next thing I wanted to do is get all my gadgets intact. The next thing is, okay, can I get an editing company or something like that to be editing my videos? How do I do my timeline? I wanted to do all these things, but I realized that the expertise wasn't coming because I had not actually started the process and I didn't know what goes into it. So the more I put myself out there and started exploring things, I realized that things are getting better. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we should do sometimes. Yes, we should always put ourselves in a way that we are willing to grow alongside what we are doing. We are willing to start with our vulnerability, our inadequacies and all that, and start something. Put ourselves out there. Because that is the only way we are going to actually grow. Yes, we should be willing to always start something, even when we are not ready. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is we are more than ready. Yes, most of the time we will keep telling ourselves that we are not ready. We are not in a position to do something or yes, we want to get more expertise. Like we want to get to a place where we are experts at what we are doing. But that never happens. If you don't do something, you don't grow. That's the fact. If you don't do something, you don't grow. Just ask yourself if a pianist is going to get to a level of skill if the pianist keeps telling himself that, oh, I have to learn all these theories, make sure that I understand it. And for about 10 years before I start even performing or I start trying to play, I'm not saying learning theory and all that is not good. Preparation is good, but to what expense? To the expense of always procrastinating for years or decades and not doing anything. That it doesn't work that way. Put yourself out there with all the imperfections, and you're going to learn that most of the things that you were so concerned about does not even matter. No one is out there looking at looking at a beginner and thinking that this beginner should do this right, should do that right. They know you are a novice at what you are doing. So when you come with all the vulnerability, they know that in spite of your inadequacies or in spite of all your mistakes and all that, you have put yourself out there. And that is something that is really respectable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mood Channel, a channel that seeks to inspire, motivate, and edify people from all walks of life. If you enjoyed the video, click on the notification button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Till we meet again.